Hey everyone, welcome back to Brick System Brothers. Nathan Masters here. It's time for a little look around the workshop. It's not quite the same as it was more than a year ago now is when I moved. So I moved out of Iowa to Illinois, have something set up again to do Lego, to build, to sort, to store. And it's a bit of a downsize from Iowa, but I do have enough, I think, going on to kind of give you guys an update. It has been a minute since I put the Acromills up on the wall, and I've got a little bit more floor storage going now. So yeah, I figured it's a good point to look around, give you guys a little sort report in a way, and keep things rolling for February 2023. So the first order of business is the table here. It's kind of a mess, but it is pretty central to the work area, so most of the time it's more of a staging ground. Recently that has been a staging ground for sorting, so up on the surface right now is just some of the main groupings that I've got. Once again, my sorting stage is working from completely mixed up bulk, and this had actually been waiting for a while. So this bin used to be pretty much full of cleaned Lego from last year, and now that has been worked down into main groups, and I'm about halfway through those groups, getting them all the way down to what I do have sorted by part. So right now, at the end of the table, in progress is my mixed windows structure group. It's more of a catch-all, not quite miscellaneous, but there's a lot more different part types in here than I would have, for example, regular slopes. And I actually do keep the regular and the curved slopes separate. The curved slopes are all done. Those are in this corner mostly right now. And the other thing I found is, as different areas of the Acromills get full, I am doing some drawer swapping. So at one point, this entire unit was all regular slopes. I think I did a video about that a couple years ago. And little by little, the other types of parts have started to migrate in, and now there's kind of this diagonal cutoff where this entire corner is completely other parts from what it started out as. Some of the stuff on this side is still what I originally sorted out, but kind of the reasoning for that is, as I have my bulk lots come in and do cleaning and sorting, certain part types really just outgrow these bins really quickly. Other part types don't, because I don't have as many of them. So that's not necessarily a bad thing, because I can upgrade sorted parts to larger bins, like these Stairlight shoebox bins, or even go the next step up into these almost tote size. And that's kind of what I've had to do for the bricks. So a lot of the single brick types, 2x2, 1x2, 2x4, are now at home in these really large totes. Not huge, but for a single part type, that's a lot of volume. And up on top of that right now is actually unsorted bricks. So a lot of these are pretty close to full. I'm not sure if I'm gonna just start another, shoebox size for a 1x2, because I don't know if necessarily all the 1x2s in the unsorted bricks will go into that Stairlight. The other thing is, as I continue to build modulars and stuff and pull parts, that will also work some of these back down, but it isn't necessarily the same rate at which they're filling up. So it's kind of a game that I play all the time on the move. It's always in motion, with parts coming in, parts getting sorted back out into builds, and kind of another one of those reasons I haven't really leaned into starting a Bricklink store. I don't really need another variable at play there. I'm not necessarily opposed to doing that, but especially at this point in life, I'm not looking for something to take up a lot more time right now. So I'm pretty content to just kind of leave it in its sorted state most of the time. Even if, these unsorted bricks don't necessarily get broken all the way down, I still know that this whole thing is bricks. If I can't find a certain amount of pieces in these, I'll go the next layer up to that one. So that's kind of where I'm at for certain groups of parts, certain types. Like I said, with the Acromills stuff getting migrated, that's been happening pretty much every unit. And some of these are actually also still getting filled. So a lot of the stuff on this side of the wall has been slowly getting filled out. I think last time I talked about some of these printed tiles, these decorated tiles getting sorted out by type. In fact, this one is just $100 bills, but then this one's like all different types of mail tiles and letters. So stuff like that is actually this whole row. And then since then I think I've gone down one more row, different part types here. And some of these are also coming from other styles of bins as I phase those out. So something like this guy right here, for a while would have had these upper containers, parts that I really don't have that many of, but I wanted to have sorted out. And then little by little, as stuff came in, it would outgrow that little container size. And so that's when it gets moved up to something like this. And eventually something like this might get moved up to the next Akro-Mils size. And then when those start to fill up, there isn't a great size in between the, the 4-inch Akro-Mils drawer and the shoebox bin, but for some parts it was a transition that made a lot of sense, and it actually filled up this size pretty quickly. For some other parts it's still pretty low, so some of that just got moved this past month were the 1x2 bow brick. So these just got moved into this shoebox bin, and it isn't necessarily that full, but it's definitely time to get it out of the Akro-Mils. It was just completely overflowing. Same thing with these little 1x2 wall panels. So yeah, if there was a bin size kind of right in between those two in the middle, some of these parts might go better in something like that. Yeah, just a general look at the floor storage now. It's these kind of modular shelving units. It's all plastic, so it's pretty lightweight. It's somewhat modular, so these can stack. Right now I just have the one layer, and then I'm kind of going right up to the bottom side of the Akro-Mils. And it's about right for the Sterilite stuff. I can get a couple of those stacked, or I can do one large and two smaller ones like that. The stuff all the way back in the corner, it's kind of a pain to get to, so I have some of the less access items back there for the moment. But yeah, it's helping get stuff off the floor a little bit and kind of utilizing this corner that's otherwise a little bit underneath the Akro-Mils stacks, which is fine. It's a little tight, a little less room than I'd like for how much is here, but I'm making it work. And eventually I might end up rearranging stuff a little bit again just to have a little more room to maneuver in here. Definitely need to get the table a little cleaner before I jump back into building and the next project there, possibly modulars. I still need to take a look at Greengrocer and do that authenticity versus cost analysis that I did for Cafe Corner. I'd like to do that for Greengrocer as well. But yeah, kind of in sorting mode at the moment. There is a sort report for you guys going a couple months into 2023 now. And decent progress made. Still a ways to go, but that's how it's shaping up so far. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time on Brick System Brothers.